Hi, I'm at the UN Human Rights Council in front of a very special painting with Michael from the Americans for Democracy and Human Rights in Bahrain. Michael, can you tell me about this painting?
So this painting was donated to the UN by the government of Bahrain pre-2011, and as you'll see, we have the Pearl Roundabout statue focusing prominently in the middle of the statue, or in the middle of the painting. And then of course after 2011, when the government tried to erase all images of the Pearl Roundabout
And the Pearl Roundabout.
And the Pearl Roundabout itself, of course, and really destroy it from public memory, they had actually requested that the UN return this painting to them, and the UN of course said no, you'd already donated it, and now it stands here. You can't quite see, but we're just outside of the room where the Human Rights Council sessions take place.
So very appropriate. And Michael, you've been working pretty pedal to the metal, full out for human rights in Bahrain. Can you tell me what you've been doing at the UN?
So this is my 14th session here at the Human Rights Council, bringing the issues of human rights in Bahrain to the international community. But this session, we remain committed to raising the issues that are happening on the ground, talking about prison conditions in Jau prison and in Dry Dock, water cuts to the prisons, pressure on high-profile political prisoners like Hassan Mushaima, and having all of their personal belongings confiscated, and additional pressure and family visits, poor conditions, access to medical care, but we also are talking about looking at the upcoming elections and the dissolution of all the political opposition groups and the closure of only independent media in the country and pressure on civil society. And we have even heard from the Assistant Secretary General of the UN talking about reprisals and naming Bahraini cases, and talking about how the government of Bahrain is doing systematic repression and reprisals and blocking access to UN bodies. So that's another issue that we've been really focusing on here in the Council. And then finally, Bahrain is seeking a seat in the Human Rights Council starting from next year. And when we have a country like Bahrain that is just so systematically just really having the worst relationship with the international human rights community, all of its bodies, all of its mechanisms, we see that as completely inappropriate. And where Bahrain has really even pledged to the international community that it will continue to restrict freedom of expression and crack down on dissent, this is grossly inappropriate. And so we're here to push back against that.
Yeah, and I just want everyone in Bahrain to know that Michael is an absolute machine, and he's working so hard for human rights in Bahrain. And he was, in the Human Rights Council. I saw him giving a statement a couple of days ago, naming the individual prison officers that have been abusing and beating prisoners. Really hard-hitting stuff. He's doing great work here, as are all the people at Americans for Democracy and Human Rights. It's the work you deserve for the human rights that hopefully soon you'll get. Thank you, Michael, for your time.
Thanks, Sam. Samud.
Samud.